Welcome to Landscaping Made Simple. I'm Bobby K. I'm a professional landscape designer and general contractor. And if you want a backyard without spending a bunch of money, there's a couple key things that I want you to lock on that are very simple, but if you don't know them, they're gonna lead to huge, costly blunders that are gonna be affecting your wallet big time. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I also have a secret weapon for you that you're gonna be able to get for free that's going to help you tremendously when it comes to hiring a company and making sure that you've got somebody who's got your back. First, I want you to put on your Indiana Jones hat. I want you to grab a journal, kind of like Indiana Jones used to do. He always used to have that really cool looking thing, and I don't know what he was writing half the time, but it was always to some forbidden fruit. But taking notes, taking account of what you've got going on in your yard, that's where you need to start. What do you naturally have? You got a big oak tree that provides a lot of shade that you're probably not gonna drop because it's very expensive. We're talking budget here. So we wanna play into our natural elements. You got the tree. Maybe you have a dry creek on the back of your property and you naturally hear some water. Maybe shifting some landscaping down there so you can hang out and hear that and have this tranquil retreat kind of experience, or a place for a cup of coffee or read a book works in. Think about what you naturally have in your yard. You got boulders. Maybe there's a spot where instead of carving into the hillside and thinking you have to put in a retaining wall, you can actually extend it out and bring it towards you and make a cool like landscaped hill with a little fire pit at the base. What do you naturally have? Write that in your Indiana Jones journal. Let's go to the next thing. So now that you know what you naturally have, we're gonna play a little matchmaker here. This is where I want you to look within you. What lights you up? What's most important to you? Why are you watching a YouTube video on a backyard? What do you want, right? A lot of people are gonna fall into a couple different categories. They like to grill, they like to relax, they wanna have friends and family over to entertain. It might be a combination of all of these things, but whatever it is, lock on a couple things that are of importance to you, what you truly feel and want to feel in that yard. And then I want you to look at your journal and what are those natural elements that we locked on. Okay, we got a big tree. We got some shade. We're probably not gonna drop that tree because it's expensive. Maybe that would be a great place for that little coffee retreat, or putting a nice bench where we can read a book, or some lounging area. Maybe there's enough of a canopy above us that we can put a fire pit and there's not gonna be any issue with any kind of smoke or setting a tree on fire. We're not gonna do that. That might be a potential spot. Maybe you get a full-blown sun experience and your yard just gets hit with all kinds of stuff and you don't have those trees. So maybe you want to put more of that entertainment area and you want to lock on some kind of outdoor structure kit, not the custom kind, but a kit, which is pretty affordable, a couple $1,000s typically, that you can build and you can hang out under there. Maybe you run electricity out to there and you could throw a TV up. All of a sudden you've got this like outdoor room where you can have more entertainment and hang out with friends and family, watch the game, whatever it is. Think about how the sun, how the shade is going on in your backyard, why you want to hang out in those different areas, or how you can hang out in those different areas, and play off that. The last thing I want you to think about is every backyard has got something kind of quirky about it, right? It's not a perfect layout. You wish you could get rid of some things. You don't really like that element. But here's the thing, that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it your yard. Instead of thinking it's a problem, how about it's a possibility? We talked about some boulders in a hillside earlier. Instead of thinking, oh gosh, I wish those boulders were out of the way and I could cut those back and put in a landscape, a wall, and then I'd have more lawn. That is a possibility, but it's gonna be expensive. What if you were able to possibly carve into that and repurpose those boulders in a way where they could be the retaining wall, or at least carve it back and then do some planting around there versus putting in an expensive retaining wall? Play with those quirky little things that you have in your yard and embrace them. Make them a possibility. So play with your natural elements. Let's move on to the second phase. So here's where things can get expensive. There are potential blunders with any project, any kind of construction project, but specifically in a backyard, there are two main things that I want you to lock on. These are the things that present the most opportunity for big change orders, which cost a lot of money. Say you wanted a fire pit, and say you know for a fact that you don't want a bunch of smoke on you, and there are potentials out there like a Brio or a Solo stove where you can put wood in there and it's a smokeless effect. Say you know for a fact you want a very clean, linear, or like a fire pit bowl, something that has a gas line. By looking at pretty pictures on Pinterest and YouTube videos and gaining inspiration, that's a starting point. But getting everything mapped out in a professional landscape design is going to hit on all of the things that a picture just doesn't quite do. There needs to be a gas line for that particular kind of fire pit, and knowing how that thing is mapped out and where it goes into the house, and that a plumber is going to be involved and it's got to be down 20 inches, and then that's got to be inspected before you can fill everything in, and how it's going to get hooked up. All of those things, a professional is going to know how to address that, map out the vision, and then get everything put together in a proposal so that you're set up to win. So make sure you get a plan. That is your first massive thing you got to do with any project. If you don't, that is the biggest blunder you're going to make, and you're just going to go through all kinds of fun stuff that's going to give you worry and stress and frustration, unfulfilled expectations that you wish you had just called somebody at the beginning. First thing. Second thing is something that everybody, for the most part, has in their yard: trees. With trees, I think a lot of the times in a landscape design, you think about this beautiful hardscaping project with a patio and some seating walls and landscaped beds with lots of plants. We don't think about that tree and how just around the immediate perimeter of that tree, those roots go way out into the yard underneath. And what are they doing? They're grabbing water. Anything that you plant by a tree is going to be competing for sun, shade, water, all these different natural elements. So when thinking about how you are going to strategically plant, how you're going to map out the hardscaping, how far away does it need to be so that you're not hitting roots, these are also things that are going to be brought up in a landscape design. Specifically with roots, I tell you, if you cut enough of a tree root off, you just get in there and you're just gouging it. Somebody's got a skid steer, they're excavating for a patio, and they start just tearing up that tree and it dies. Oh boy, is that not only going to be expensive, but what if you don't catch it? What if you didn't realize it and all of a sudden limbs start coming off, or God forbid a storm happens and that tree, bam, comes down? Could kill somebody. Absolutely is going to destroy your house. And this is going to be a massive blunder. Get a design, know about trees and how you're going to lay everything out around there, and you are going to be in a much healthier spot, and make sure that you're protecting your budget as much as possible. So the final thing is, let's talk about water. Water is essential for life, right? It's a great thing, but I tell you, if it is not handled in a backyard, it's an absolute nightmare. It can puddle up. It can make your backyard an absolute swampy, soggy, yucky mess. It can kill plants. It can mess with the foundation of your house. It does all kinds of damage. So there's two main questions you need to address when dealing with water, when dealing with drainage. It's where's the water going now, and where can we take the water? How can we redirect that water? By knowing these things, and you can present this to a landscape designer when you have that consultation, they are going to be able to strategically map out not only how to catch that water, but how to redirect it and then make everything look beautiful. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is we get a lot of drainage calls with my company, and it's more or less everybody thinks that they need to take the downspouts out, which you do in PVC, and then maybe a French drain. That's not always the 100% solution. Can you imagine paying $3,000 to $5,000 for a nice French drainage system? And essentially that thing's just underground and there's just grass above, and you're like, what did I really pay for? It's gonna take care of most of the water, but I love the combination effect of you can take a drainage system and you can cosmetically still make it look beautiful above. lots of examples where we've hidden drainage systems inside of decorative rock beds to spruce it up and make a patio pop even more, the landscaping, or we've done dry creeks throughout landscaping and put a drainage system in there. Think creatively on how you can grab that water, redirect it, and enhance the beauty of that space. I think that that is a big miss with a lot of landscaping companies and a lot of backyards, and it doesn't cost a ton of money. You're already spending the money for the drainage. Now you're just enhancing what's already getting kind of tore up with the trencher and shovels in the first place. As I said earlier, I've got a giveaway for you. It's how to weed out seemingly good landscaping companies and make sure that you hire the right one. These are the little under the hood kind of questions that nobody thinks to ask, but are a nightmare for every single landscaping company that's not very good or is unprepared. That's your secret weapon. I wanna make sure that when you hire somebody to help you with these things, you have got everything in your arsenal and you're ready to go, and you're gonna make the best choice for you, okay? So go down in the links below, grab that up. And if you wanna keep going down the rabbit hole, check out this video right here. This gets a little bit more into the aesthetics and the cosmetics of what that backyard can look like. This is Bobby K saying creation is everything, so go out and create. See you on the next video.